Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the Athlon CRONUS ATS Pro 25p-250. So this is Athlon's entry-level thermal scope, and have a couple things to say about it. So first off, I'm pretty impressed with even really what a low or entry tier thermal scope can do. Let me see, I'm not sure if I can even get oh, this ain't gonna work. I'll cut in some footage and stuff, but so a few things about it. You know, it's comes with a couple of batteries, a mount, and pretty much everything you need to get started. So setup is pretty simple. You have this main dial here that adjusts your zoom when you're looking through the reticle. It also adjusts how you move through the menus. You have your focus wheel up here. I didn't notice that at first. And then it's just the one button on top. Hold it down, turn it on. Hold it down to turn it off. To record, you tap once. It starts recording your screen. Stop recording, turn it off. You can double tap to get into the menus, change reticle colors, white hot, black hot. You can do the multi-color rainbow stuff. Really all kinds of cool things. So let's see here. I'll try and yeah. So it's out of focus there. Let me see for something up close like my dog here. Yeah, that's Olive. And then we got Murphy. Stay still. Let's see. Picking up just his breath coming out of his nose there. That's pretty cool. So I'll try and splice in some extra footage and stuff on it. So, you know, trying this out for the last month or so. I'm pretty impressed. Really, range is solid. See, this minimum zoom is a 3.6x. You can zero it at all kinds of different ranges, 50 yards, 100 yards, 150. I've started going to 50-yard zeros for most all of my optics. Gives you a pretty solid, pretty much 50, 250, or 50 to 200, maybe 210, something like that, depending on your specific caliber. But, and then really, today's day and age, everybody's just using ballistic calculators and stuff. There is a ballistic calculator in this thing, so it will actually accommodate. Oh, okay, let's get into the menu here. Yep, so here's the menus. Calibration, take photos, Wi-Fi, image quality, record settings. You can Have it set up to record on firing. That's a pretty cool feature. Zeros, all your reticles. I myself am a mil guy. But let's go to these different color palettes. So you just hit the button, enters you into that menu. And then we can white hot, black hot, red hot, blue, green. That's another. Now, as I've been using it, I mostly have been sticking on the white hot and the black hot. I feel like those two really give you the sharpest picture. However, there are a bunch of other ones. Here, let's hold down the button, back out, hold down the button, back out. Got a ballistic calculator. You know, let's look at some of these different reticles. You know, all kinds of. Now, me myself, I'm just going with a small one. Really, with this thermal, I've yet to gone out and zeroed it and shot, but haven't been successful on my predator hunts. But I don't really see myself doing a lot of ballistic dope and whatnot. So, but I was out last night, took off work early, trying to get out, and did not get any coyotes called in. See, look, boom, and then right back on. Solid lockup. What I did is just made a little mark right there. I'll go back on it with a paint pen. Hit your mark, boom. Sticks back on zero. So it's really pretty simple. I will tell you, if you get one, you're going to want to read the menu, read the manual. Now, the first time I kind of breezed through it, but then did not actually read it well. And the dial and the buttons really was like, oh, is this a double press, a single press? How do I get it squared up? And the thing for the longest time, I was like, oh, this, I don't know, this is my first experience really with the thermal. I thought they weren't all that sharp. You got this focus wheel up here, and that makes a big difference. So the difference between, you know, close range versus going out a couple hundred yards, couple hundred meters, that focus wheel, it really brings stuff into sharpness. It's not a you know, $4,000 or $5,000 thermal. I think these things MSRP is like $900, $800, 8 and some change. But you know, that's not nothing. You know, you can get a solid regular optic for that amount of money, and so for a thermal, you are getting a lot of value out of this. You know, one thing I do have, one sort of critique, is that if you're panning, you know, when you're moving left and right, or moving around the screen, it will kind of lag up a little bit. So let me loosen. You know, it's as you're moving, it'll freeze for just a second and then catch back up. I think that's just because, you know, as it's processing everything going on, you're going to maybe overload the computer that's in there. But I think in hunting scenarios, that's not going to be that big of a concern. You know, I first noticed it when I was playing with it off gun, just kind of using it as like a template or something like that. You know, I think the 3.5x minimum zoom, you know, the 3x minimum zoom is not ideal. When you're zeroing, it goes down to 1x, which would be nice. I think, you know, if you could dial it all the way down to 1, but again, that's a small problem. You know, I'm not going to use this thermal tactically, like for any of my law enforcement stuff, but it's not made for that. You know, it's a solid scope for what it is. You know, as we're getting into predator season now, coming in to the winter time, you know, and you're wanting to get into it, I'd say check it out. You know, Athlon, I think they're really going after it. I have not seen, I looked around, you know, any other thermals really under the $1,000 mark. And if you're not sure, hey, am I gonna make enough of an investment that I can really feel like I'm getting the value out of it for under $1,000, you know, Christmas sales, Black Friday sales, I think it's really a really good solid option. So I'm going to cut in some video through the optic, and tell me what you think. Any of you guys tried Athlon? You got either the 250 or I think their next tier up is the 400. That one's for a little over $1,000. You know, or are you guys running, you know, some sort of $4,000 or $5,000 thermal? What do you think? You know, I'm hoping as we're coming into prime predator season, I can knock down some coyotes. I'd really like to get a bobcat. They've been pretty high on my list, and we'll see. So check it out, man. Athlon, really entry level thermal optic, but very solid. You know, I think they're worth the investment. And have you guys tried one? Let me see. So have a look through some thermal footage after this.
I'm hand delivered the 2 here.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say we can have actually buy mailbox. All right. Well, one of the things I wanted with success, so there's, and we still have yet to have snow. We haven't had any.
Oh, what day here, but down there hasn't been snow.
No,
The opening of the year season, we had a couple inches of snow, and June was deer.
and it lasted for 3 days.
That's a 1 my God.
I'm talking about the snow.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they just hooked, and they didn't even circle. They didn't even swing. They just came.
Yeah,
And we sat up, and I think we got another 4 or 5, 3 or 4 mallard drakes out of that one, and then another one, and then another one, and then it was, you know, then we had
Then the cows came.
Then the cows came.
Cows. Oh,
You could see them.
Very attracted to the
3/4 of a mile away.
Well, it's weird. Cows get interested in something,
Mhm.
and then you can't get them out.
No, Alex was trying to chase them out.
You try to chase them, and they run for 20 yards and then stop and turn around.
And that's when the geese came.
Yeah.
And the geese would come down and they'd look at the cows and they would peel. Every time.
Because the cows are too close.
He chased the cows off and the geese came in and they were going to land. And here come the cows running across the field.
Yeah.
That had
Dang things.
Yeah, that mean, if they would have taken the couch.
Would have been a tough backup.
Pull the trailer up.
Yeah.
But you said legally in North Dakota,
You can shoot cows.
you can drive your car, your vehicle, you can drive your truck to the game
Right,
you kill.
right.
So, well,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
So
I think
get to the back of the truck with a bit of choice,
Monty
too.
and Bruce probably would have been a little grumpy about that,
Yeah.
but, you know, yeah, I mean,
And it's
never
a
know.
cow. It's not that intense.
I'll ask him tonight. I'll see him at Pooley.
Okay.
I'll ask Monty if he minds next time.
But I didn't want to. He's still young. Yeah, I didn't want to swing out the
I mean, like, there's going to be plenty of really cool stuff. We're going to tell you a little bit about that. But the podcast that we did on Tuesday was one me and Nate and Alex and Aaron were driving around with scouting dogs, and we were talking a little bit about we actually mic'd Aaron up, which was fun. I don't know if you knew this about Aaron or not, but he filmed Monster Quest that was on History Channel back in the day.
Yeah, he was talking one day.
Yeah, he was in Indonesia and Nepal and all over the world. So we've got him talking a little bit.